Sprint backlog. In every sprint planning meeting, the product owner tells the Scrum team what needs to be done to increase the value of the product, in other words, its value. And the entire Scrum team is focused on setting the goal for the sprint. The Scrum team, in collaboration with the product owner, will decide which items to add to the sprint backlog, starting from the top of the product backlog. In addition, the sprint backlog includes a plan to drive product increment and achieve the sprint goal. At this point, let's make a brief explanation to understand the difference between product backlog and sprint backlog. The product backlog is an ordered list of ideas or features that the product should or may have. The sprint backlog is built from scratch at the start of each sprint and contains the product backlog items and plan to do in the current sprint. All items in the sprint backlog come from the product backlog. The plan explains how the function and sprint goal will be achieved. The plan is to decompose the product backlog item, allowing the Scrum team to generate an increment. With the decomposition, the activities to be done in the sprint are defined. Product backlog items describe what to be delivered. The plan addresses how this will happen. The sprint goal shows why the sprint is valuable. All are part of the sprint backlog. When the Scrum team selected product backlog items for a sprint, they created an estimate of what would be delivered. Estimates for the sprint are never a guarantee, promise, or commitment. Unexpected things can happen during the sprint. You can view the sprint backlog as a temporary build that only exists during the sprint. Each sprint will have a new sprint backlog. Any unfinished business remaining on the sprint backlog at the end of the sprint will be put back into the product backlog. The product owner will decide what should happen next. While the product backlog is the responsibility of the product owner, the Scrum team is responsible for the sprint backlog. The team can make any changes they deem necessary during the sprint to reach the sprint goal. Once they identify the work that needs to be done, they can also add to the sprint backlog. The total work remaining in the sprint backlog is tracked with a meeting held at least once a day. Team members are responsible for tracking progress towards the sprint goal.